Hey, YouTube, this is Fragments of Memory, aka the Armchair Philosopher. I'm responding to a video done by the great Testizel, Mr. Ghetto Serrano, Mr. Stop and Stare. He did a video, it was called The Benefits of PUSSY, or the benefits, I'm gonna amend it to say the benefits of the cookie. And it was a nice little bait and switch tactic. Usually I don't go for the bait and switch, but I liked where your head was at on this one. One of the things he talked about is how there is this pressure, especially on young men, to have sex at earlier ages. As a matter of fact, it seems that young men are told you're not a real man unless you have a few notches on your belt. And I've experienced this. In fact, I did a series of videos about my relationship with sexuality. And I talked about how growing up, I was considered weird, strange, and even homosexual simply on the grounds that I wasn't out having sex. Um, and I felt this big push and pull because, on one end, I had the religious upbringing coming up in an evangelical Christian upbringing where the Bible says, hey, flee fornication, don't have sex outside of marriage. On the flip side, I got the world around me saying go out and have sex. So there was this sort of push and pull with me as a young man. And I can sort of see that going on even today where like a guy feels like he's a loser if he's not out here sowing his wild oats. In fact, our cultural language seems to be geared towards a man having sex or his sexual conquests. For example, the term sowing your wild oats. Like a man is told before you settle down with that lady, go out and have as much sexual encounters as you can, or as many sexual encounters as you can. Where a woman is told, be virtuous and be a virgin until you're married. So the conflicting, there's a conflict there. Two, a man's worth seems to be what's in his pants and not what's in his mind or what's in his heart, but in his pants and how many women he's bedded and his skill in the bedroom as opposed to his skill in the boardroom or his skill in the classroom or his skill on the field of battle or whatever the case might be. And then with this mentality, it doesn't also help that the film industry aids and abets this way of thinking, where we laugh at the idea of a male 40-year-old virgin. We laugh at the idea of a male virgin anyway. But now we laugh at the idea of a male 40-year-old virgin. Like somehow a man is a loser if he cannot get a woman to give up the panty draws. And I don't mean to be vulgar with it, but let me just keep it real. And I think with all those forces gathering, people don't tell you the dark side. Hey, that chick with the hips and the breasts and the thighs and everything else, you get her pregnant, that's a child you are responsible for. Or, you know what? Lisa might have a big old booty, but Lisa might also have a series of STDs running all up inside of her. So you hit it, you mess with it, and now you got those STDs. And I think I mentioned in another video that they got a new strain of gonorrhea. I think I read a story in the LA Times where there's no cure for it. There's no treatment for it. That's it. And it may be coming to the US. And I heard from a woman named Hair Nails Beauty Tips. Again, she's a Christian lady on YouTube. She does give you some thought-provoking things about health. The Christianity, I don't necessarily agree with that, but she did make a good point about that. Um, Also, I've even said this in videos, and I'm sure there are people that could probably tell you this, that I believe you make a sexual bond with someone when you engage in sexuality. So here you are making all these sexual covenants with these women out here, and you forget that, oh yeah, which is why she can't have a good relationship with anybody else because she's thinking about you, or vice versa, or you got some crazy girl that's about to stalk you because you made love to her and now she's thinking it's forever and you just wanted to hit it and quit it. So my advice to those guys that might be virgins, and I'm gonna piggyback on what Testizel is saying, is for real, worry about your education, worry about your spirituality. Don't worry about whether or not you're getting some play, because there's time for play, getting you some play. You know, and usually, I personally think that's going to be in a monogamous relationship like marriage. And it's also better for a society. And I know there's a lot of pressures in our society. It's easy to obtain pornography, whether online, at a newsstand, in a video store. There's still video stores laying around now. And it's very easy to obtain pornography. It's very easy to obtain so-called adult material. And it's in your face constantly. You don't even have to go to the X-rated side of things. You can look on just network TV, reality TV. I think I've seen more breast, hips, buttocks, and thighs on Hip Hop Wives and Basketball Wives and Flavors of Love than I have in an actual adult film. So it's just, or Bad Girls Club, whatever, name your reality TV show. And you see all the hips and buttocks and breasts and thighs and all that stuff is being, you're being bombarded with those images. And even if you don't have to look at TV, you can go outside your house. And it's summertime right now and it's hot and the ladies are dressing less. And you got teenagers and 20-somethings and maybe even early 30s dressing where they showing their bodies off. So I can understand the pressures put on a man, whether young or old. But don't get caught up in this. This is all an illusion. This is magic and glamour being put on your psyche. Do not fall into that trap. Focus on you. Focus on God. Focus on what you got to do. Don't focus on that so much. Because there's always going to be a time and a place for that. That's my 2 cents. Be easy like Sunday morning.